Ever felt completely drained after hanging out with someone? Or do you find yourself constantly second-guessing everything because someone's got your mind all twisted up? Congrats! You are dealing with a narcissist, and if you are an empath, this is doing a real number on you emotionally. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder, C-PTSD, is a mouthful, but let's keep it simple. It is a condition that can really mess with your life, especially if you are an empath who feels everything from everyone all the time. Empaths are basically walking emotional sponges that soak up all the feelings around them. This makes them the perfect prey for narcissists. Narcissists are like emotional vampires. They drain you dry, leaving you confused, anxious, and deeply wounded. This nasty combo can lead to C-PTSD. But hey, don't freak out just yet. If you recognize the signs, you can understand what is happening and start to heal. Let's begin. The first sign that shows you are an empath suffering from C-PTSD is that you are extremely hypervigilant and anxious. All right, suppose you are living with a constant invisible threat. For empaths, hypervigilance means always being on edge, like a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. When you are tangled up with a narcissist, this becomes your daily reality. Empaths, being the emotional sponges, soak up the vibes around them. With a narcissist, you turn into a paranoid detective, analyzing every mood and behavior, trying to predict the next explosion or manipulation. This constant dread leads to chronic anxiety. Imagine always walking on eggshells, terrified that one wrong word or move will spark a meltdown. This anxiety isn't just a background hum, it takes over. Even simple tasks or conversations feel like climbing Mount Everest. Your brain races, always trying to dodge the narcissist's wrath. This relentless stress wears you down, leading to fatigue, insomnia, and even physical symptoms like headaches or stomach issues. Over time, your world shrinks as you avoid anything that can add to your stress. The next sign is that you feel dissociation and emotional numbness. Dissociation and emotional numbness are like your mind's emergency escape hatch. For you, this becomes a harmful coping mechanism. When bombarded with emotional abuse and manipulation, your mind hits the eject button saying, "This is too much," and disconnects from the chaos. Dissociation is like stepping outside yourself, watching life like a movie. It offers temporary relief, but leaves you feeling detached from reality. You will feel like you are watching your life from the sidelines, not really involved or connected to what is happening around you. Over time, this detachment turns into emotional numbness. It is like you build a fortress around your heart to keep the pain out, but this fortress also blocks out joy, love, and connection. You will struggle to feel anything deeply, which will make relationships a challenge for you. Friends and loved ones will notice you seem distant or unresponsive, even in situations that should spark strong emotions. This numbness can also cloud your sense of self. You will not understand your own emotions or desires because you have spent so long shoving your feelings aside. It is a survival tactic that becomes a barrier to a full engaged life. The journey back to emotional wholeness is tough and requires you to slowly tear down the walls you have built and learn to trust your emotions again. So, if you find yourself dodging emotional landmines or feeling like a zombie in your own life, it is time to take a closer look at the people around you. Remember, even the darkest nights end with dawn. Sign number 3, you can't stop thinking about your abuser. Imagine having your mind hijacked by thoughts of the narcissist and the trauma they have caused you. This is an all-consuming obsession. As an empath, you naturally think deeply and reflect on things. Even before the abuse, you would get lost in your thoughts, pondering various aspects of life. But after narcissistic abuse, your mind gets stuck on the narcissist and the pain they inflicted. It is like your brain is a broken record, replaying the trauma over and over again. This constant obsession is incredibly unhealthy. Just like our bodies need good food to stay healthy, our minds need positive thoughts to thrive. Dwelling on these painful experiences keeps you stuck in a cycle of misery. It is like being trapped in a dark room, unable to find the door to escape. The more you think about the narcissist and the abuse, the deeper you sink into a negative mindset, which makes it nearly impossible to move forward and heal. Now, the next sign is the overwhelming guilt and shame that follows narcissistic abuse. Do you ever catch yourself blaming yourself for everything that happened? This is common for empaths dealing with C-PTSD from a narcissist's manipulation. Narcissists are masters at twisting reality. They lie, gaslight, and distort the truth to make you feel like you are the one at fault. Over time, you start to believe these lies, even though, deep down, you know you are the victim. The constant manipulation makes you doubt yourself. You start thinking that that maybe you did something to deserve the abuse or that you could have done more to prevent it. This twisted thinking leaves you feeling a profound sense of guilt and shame. You feel responsible for your own suffering, even though it was the narcissist who caused it. This internalized blame can be incredibly damaging and makes it hard for you to see your true worth and take steps toward healing. If you are an empath in recovery, one of the hardest tasks is breaking free from this false belief. You need to work on reversing the conditioning and reclaiming your sense of self. Understand that you were manipulated and that the guilt and shame you feel aren't yours to carry. It is a challenging journey, but with time and support, you can learn to trust yourself again and recognize your true value. Sign number 5. You are jumpier than a cat in a room full of cucumbers. If you find yourself easily startled by the smallest things, you are not alone. For empaths, this constant state of jumpiness and nervousness is all too common. You are incredibly intuitive, almost like you have a sixth sense. You can pick up on the tiniest shifts in the emotional atmosphere around you, which is usually a superpower. You trust your gut to guide you through life's choices. But when you are stuck with a narcissist, your superpower becomes a curse. Your ability to read the narcissist's moods and behaviors becomes a survival tool. You are always on high alert, trying to predict their next move to avoid conflict. With a narcissist, nothing is straightforward. Everything is a twisted game of manipulation. This constant vigilance turns into a permanent state of nervousness. You become incredibly sensitive to every little detail, trying to dodge potential emotional landmines. This heightened state of awareness is exhausting and leaves you feeling perpetually on edge, like you can never fully relax. Next sign, you have become a hermit, keeping to yourself more than usual. For empaths who have suffered narcissistic abuse, withdrawing from others is a common response. Narcissists are experts at isolating their victims. They drive wedges between you and your support network, which makes it easier to manipulate and control you. They achieve this isolation by spreading lies and starting smear campaigns that turn your friends and loved ones against you. Even after escaping the narcissist's grip, the damage lingers. You feel abandoned and betrayed, and it becomes incredibly hard for you to trust anyone again. To protect yourself from further hurt, you will choose to stay isolated. You build emotional walls and try to keep everyone at a distance. You fear that opening up and becoming vulnerable will only lead to more pain. This self-imposed isolation can feel safe, but it also keeps you from forming meaningful connections and finding support. Sign number 7. You are snapping at others like a crocodile at feeding time. Once known for your emotional stability, you now find yourself reacting intensely to even minor provocations. As an empath, this loss of emotional control can be a sign of C-PTSD. The constant emotional manipulation and gaslighting by the narcissist have taken a significant toll on you. You, who naturally avoid conflict and strive to maintain peace, now find yourself losing touch with your inner calm. Your patience wears thin, and your once gentle temperament changes, and it has become easy for you to lose control over your emotions. This shift is confusing and upsetting, not only for you but also for those around you. Dealing with this emotional instability starts with understanding and acknowledging the root cause, narcissistic abuse. Be kind to yourself and recognize that your reactions are a normal response to abnormal circumstances. Seeking therapy can provide strategies to manage these intense emotions. Practices like mindfulness and meditation can help you regain your sense of balance. It is also important to communicate with loved ones about what you are going through, so they can provide the support and patience needed during your healing process. Next up, you have become more suspicious than a detective in a crime novel. Rebuilding trust after narcissistic abuse is incredibly challenging. Narcissists are masters of deceit, leaving you feeling betrayed and manipulated. This betrayal shatters your ability to trust, making you wary of others' intentions. The journey to rebuild trust is delicate and requires time, patience, and a supportive environment. You need to surround yourself with empathetic and understanding individuals who can offer genuine support. Take small steps in rebuilding trust, starting with those who have consistently shown kindness and reliability. Open communication about your experiences and feelings can help others understand your hesitations and support your healing journey. Remember, it is okay to take your time. Trusting others again doesn't mean being naive. It means learning to discern who is truly worthy of your trust and who is not. With time, patience, and support, you can rebuild your ability to trust and form healthy, supportive relationships. Sign number 9, you feel like a ghost in your own life. Ever felt like you are watching your life from the outside, or like the world around you isn't real? For empaths suffering from C-PTSD due to narcissistic abuse, these feelings are all too familiar. Depersonalization makes you feel disconnected from yourself as if you are just an observer. Derealization, on the other hand, makes everything around you seem surreal or dreamlike. These experiences are your mind's way of coping with the overwhelming stress and trauma caused by narcissistic abuse. When the pain becomes too much to handle, your brain creates a buffer zone, distancing you from your own feelings and environment. While this provides temporary relief, it can make everyday life feel strange and disconnected. And finally, the last sign, you are avoiding places, people, or activities like they are radioactive. Do certain spots or faces remind you of past trauma? This is a common coping mechanism for empaths dealing with C-PTSD from narcissistic abuse. Imagine associating a park, a mall, or even a grocery store with painful memories of your abuser. No wonder you steer clear of these places to avoid reliving the trauma. Triggers aren't limited to locations. They can also be people or activities that bring back distressing memories. You can find yourself avoiding certain friends or family members who remind you of your abuser, even if they have done nothing wrong. This avoidance, while protective, can greatly impact your quality of life that makes you feel isolated and restricted. Understanding the signs of an empath suffering from C-PTSD due to narcissistic abuse is important for healing and support. Empaths absorb the emotions around them, which makes them vulnerable to manipulation and emotional trauma. If you or someone you know is struggling, seek support and remember, healing is possible. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to leave a like. If you're interested in more videos like this one, hit the subscribe and notification bell to always be the first to know when a new video is up. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.